So I'm recording.
Jordi, YouTube?
Three, two, one, go. Hello, welcome to our presentation about the cultural difference and the questions. So first we are going to talk about the tasks from 3C. And the second thing we want to talk about is the cultural difference between a Dutch employee and an Austrian company. So the first question is, how do you make a good first impression as a new employee in your national culture? For Dutch people, it's always be friendly. Also, when interviewing, Dutch people frequently ask, what do you think? An opinion is very important if you are a Dutch people, if you talk with Dutch people. And honesty is one of the top values in the Dutch culture. Also, when you're first meeting, a firm handshake with each other is regular, and do not tend to overdress. A suit is fine, but be careful with the makeup, jewelry, and perfume. So Jordi is now going. Sorry, now the second question.
So
The second question.
we will now,
Alex?
exactly, yeah, thank you. We will now move on to the second question. It's how do you make a good first impression as a company in your national culture? Firstly, it's important to teach about the rights and obligations that an employee has, because he or she has to know about it. Secondly, offering a mentor for every upcoming question is very useful. Thirdly, showing the new employee around in the company so that he or she knows where he's working. Fourthly, telling about organized meetings, of course, so that everyone knows what's going on in the company at the moment. And fifthly, introducing to new colleagues or to every colleague that he or she has so that he or she knows everyone. Jordi is now going on to speak about the third question.
Yeah, thank you, Alex. The third question is, how would you feel welcome as a new employee in a new company? For a company in the Netherlands, it is very important, the first impression. This first impression shows immediately how the company is and how the atmosphere is among the company's employers. In the Netherlands, as a new employee, we feel it welcome if we get on the first day as a new employer the first tour inside the company, and if we will be introduced to our new colleagues. Of course, these colleagues must react enthusiastic and spontaneous on the introduction of the new employee. The new employee must feel that he is welcome, and if he needs help, the people within the company wants to help him. The new employee wants also to know the norms and values of the company, and the company must also clearly know what is expected of the new employee. The main activities and the main tasks must also be explained, and also the devices where the new employee has to work with. All in all, the company must spend much time to let a new employee feel welcome. Now we move on to the next. Communication patterns.
Alright. So as a Dutch employee in an Austrian company, it is very important to know that Austrians are in general greedier than Dutchmen. Of course, not every person is so, but it's an average. Dutchmen also like to cooperate more with each other. Austrians do not like to use their power, we decided that we think they use it more than Dutch people. And for example, if he or she is higher in the hierarchy than you are, then it's definitely normal to use the power in Austria. Now we're moving on to the personal space.
Is mine?
Personal space. Austrian
No.
and Dutch people want 1 meter distance between each other, especially with strangers. It's like a sort of safe zone for the people. And Dutch culture is the handshake mandatory. If you have to meet someone, you first give him or her a handshake to introduce yourself. Physical contact is not welcomed, and kissing and hugging in public are rarely seen. Let's move on to the next slide. Punctuality. It is standard for Dutch person to come on time for meetings. Most of the Dutch people hate it when people are late or late by themselves. This is because Dutch people have a very busy agenda, so wasting their time is a thing you should avoid. For Austrian people, they're just the same like Dutch people when it comes to time and punctuality. They also hate it when people are arriving late. Unlike in Vienna, the capital of the city or the country, because in Vienna there are a lot of coffee shops where people tend to meet and when they easily forget the time when it comes to talking with each other. So conclusion, Dutch and Austrian people are are the same when it comes to punctuality. Let's move on to the FAQ.
Thank you. I would like to talk about frequently asked questions. How should I pay attention to the hierarchy? It's important to find out who you are speaking to before making a suggestion or giving an answer. Of course, you must be 100% sure who is the person, and you can talk with some kind of stuff and think that the boss is not the good. How can I cooperate with another Austrian? It is possible if the other person will also have an advantage from it. Speak with other person carefully.
So let me now move on with the suggestions to introduce a foreign worker. We only found 2 points for this slide. The first one is about warning the existing employees not to stereotype the new employee, because of course there are always prejudices about foreign workers. Then the second point is about telling the workforce to speak English with him or her, of course, otherwise it would not be possible to understand him or her. Now we are moving on to the listening habits.
It's not mine. Oh yeah, it's mine. Thank you. Here are the listening habits between Austria and Dutch. Austrian people are very strict. They have no excuse with you if you are not punctual or if you are not 100% sure what you are talking about or what's going on. And they always twice ask before they do. They must be sure what they are doing. And Dutch people, they basically saving the time, because time is the money, and with no money is no funny. and they are always very busy because they need more money.
Yeah, very nice. Thank you all for that.